Welcome back, everyone. The next installment of the Farthest Thunder Act 2. We have a full crew tonight. Woohoo. And hopefully, South does not have to evacuate. Um, stay safe, please. All right. I'll dive right in because there's a lot of ground to cover tonight. Quick recap from last week. We started the session with a tense situation in the mess hall of the Ianla. With the help of some Kelland prospectors, you did manage to avert what could have been a very bad situation for Gideon. Luckily, you did manage to see that syringe in time and not get stabbed by the goo. And you seem to have scared away Gaius to at least eliminate that immediate threat for a little while anyway. Aiko, did we start with you in the brig? Yes. You were in the
No, I was in the lab. I was
that's
put in
right.
the brig mid-episode.
Yes. And I forget what got you back into the brig.
The captain, because we're skipping a few steps, right? So I'll let you tell it, but the
Oh, please go ahead.
Gaius ran off, and then I texted everybody like, "Hey, stay away from him." And then I went to get the captain on the phone to show him the surveillance footage, and that's what pissed him off. That he clearly could tell Aiko was up to something, and knew about this goo that Gaius had, so he threw him in the brig because Aiko wasn't really forthcoming with the information.
Exactly. Right. And you could not find Gaius. He kind of went AWOL. Oh, and you also managed to get Carl incarcerated too for helping you find the captain. So you guys had some shared time in the brig before before Megs managed to hatch a plan to get you out. There was some debate as to whether or not Aiko was worth saving. But in the end, you just thought, sorry? It was close.
The debate rages on.
Mm-hmm. But I think you all realized that you had to leave this ship imminently with a very hostile android looking to stab you guys with black goo. You figured now is a good time as any to bail. And you had your options. Your three options were to go. The first one was to go with Throop and just find your own way out here in the far Spinward colonies. Second one was to obey an order issued by Aiko to the Throop crew to return to Baxter's Reach. Is that it? But then you were also assigned again by Aiko to report to the Typhoon and take it to the Lich Gate. You chose the first of those three options. To basically gave Aiko the middle finger, went your own way. You're going to go with Throop, take your chances. But for some reason, I don't fully understand why you guys decide to have a change of heart and jailbreak Aiko. With the help of NPC 7654, we're not quite sure what that name was, who managed to get Aiko out of prison. But as he was escorting you to your ship, a lot of you actually were. Otmar, you went ahead with Captain Lynn and Andrea, and you were waiting on board for them to arrive. You were chased, Terminator style, by Gaius. And that chase, that's pretty hilarious, actually. That's almost a comedy of errors there, as none of you seem to be able to hold on to anything. I don't know how many times you tried to pick up Megs's gun, spade, 5 times. Um, a lot of you froze in panic, and then, although you did your best to try and throw up obstacles and roadblocks in Gaius's way as he chased after you, unfortunately, NPC 7654, um, who was trailing behind all of you, had their met their end, you assume, as you hear a crunch when Gaius throws him into the wall. I think who is next? The rest of you were madly running as fast as you could to the Wicket, the Throop ship, where Electo Throop awaited you. Engines started. You guys were just barreling towards there. But just as you arrived at the hangar, I forget who went back for the gun first that Megs dropped. Was it Aiko first?
In
Right,
all
Aiko.
fairness, he had to listen to the dice because they said he froze because he had a panic roll. It just seems so thematic.
Aiko decided to go back for the gun, be the hero, and possibly stop Gaius in his tracks. However, that didn't happen. And Gaius quickly dispatched Aiko, crumpled to the floor unconscious. Again, the gun fell to the ground, and this time I think, was it South that went after it next? Right. South, did you ever reach the gun? I can't recall.
I think I had gotten like right there at it, but I couldn't muster the strength to grab it.
But through an incredible roll, he did manage to somehow summon the Kellen prospectors out of thin air, who materialized within the hangar of where Wicket and the other troop vehicles were preparing to launch from, and they ran some interference for you guys. And in that process, I think they actually managed to knock Gaius out. So with the gun and the syringe, he also tried to stab you with it, with the syringe, didn't he? While he had you for a moment before he could stab you, he was knocked out by the Kellen prospectors.
Yeah, he was going to try to stab me with it. Yeah.
And then Gideon, I mean, you had a clear way out. By this time, I think you guys were all in various throes of panic attacks, screaming at each other. South, I think you went berserk as well, attacked one of the Kelland prospectors. Yeah, it was a bit of a clusterfuck there. But Gideon, you went back. You're dragging Aiko back towards the ship before you two fell into panic. Luckily, Gaius was knocked out. You guys managed to regroup. Gideon, you recovered the syringe and brought it on board the ship with you. And with all of you now safely on board, a chance to recuperate, to breathe a bit, South, when you fell unconscious, you suffered a traumatic event. Oh, actually, Aiko, you broke your wrist when Gaius smashed you into a wall. But South, because of your fragile mental state, in the last moments before you boarded the ship, you're forever cursed with nightmares. So while you lay unconscious and the rest of your friends board Wicket, launch from Yanla, make your own way into this vast darkness of space, what is South dreaming of?
Just to clarify,
I think,
we haven't slept yet.
or well, I'm unconscious. Well, I'm taking a
Are you
Involuntary nap.
unconscious?
Yeah, Self
Yeah.
is unconscious as
Oh,
well.
Yeah.
sorry, I missed that. My
Involuntary
apologies.
nap.
So there's two of us knocked out.
Yep.
I think first and foremost, I think it would probably be South is imagines himself kind of back on Baxter's Reach, running through those caves as all of those xenomorphs and abominations come hurtling out, and he's just trying to just run. Doesn't know where he's going, doesn't know where the cavern ends, doesn't know anything. It's literally just him running in darkness, followed by the xenomorphs. Um, and then it kind of all fades to black, and then the being on the ship, and then watching the nuke hit Baxter's Reach, and watching it all go up, and it's just that kind of like a just on repeat, an endless loop.
I'm going to have to make an empathy roll.
Straight empathy.
Great empathy.
Roll stress dice or no?
No stress. Oh my gosh. With 2 dice. The roll succeeds. So this nightmare that you have causes you to have your stress increase by 1 level, and you cannot relieve your stress for 1 full day.
I would expect nothing less.
That's not a success. You wanted to fail your empathy check.
Normally, had I needed that, I would have failed it.
All right. So just remember that you don't recover stress until the next time you have a chance to sleep without nightmares. All right. So the rest of you are on board Wicket. You launch from the ship. Gideon, Electo instructs you to get into the pilot seat. Otmar, you have learned to become an engineer. You know the guts of the ship. You are now like the engineer of the ship. Megs, you are a passenger for now. Unless there is a position you want to take, which would be gunner, which there are no guns on this ship, so that's a pretty useless position. There's or
No
sensor
guns
ops.
yet.
No guns yet, or sensor ops, and which would require like Comtech skill. Would you like to take that post?
Well, I think Mags is mediocre at best at Comtech. I think she would pass on that unless it was absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she'd enjoy being a passenger for the moment.
So this Corvus
Luxury of being a passenger.
This Corvus class ship is relatively small. It's only 54 meters long. It's meant to be a salvage ship, like a tugboat, effectively. Um, so it's not terribly fast, not terribly maneuverable, but it has nifty little gadgets on it, like a salvage crane. It has a small little hangar, docking umbilicals. It has an emergency escape vehicle for 2 people. There are currently 5 of you, full crew of 6, plus your 2 other passengers, Andrea and Captain Lynn. That's 13 people on a ship that's meant for 6. It's a little crowded in here. There's in the bridge area, there is only room for the captain, the pilot, and the sensor ops individual. The engineer is expected to be by the engines. And the rest of you are basically in the cargo hold, strapping you in, just like on a cargo plane. You have those harnesses to keep you safe from bouncing around in 0G. And this cargo area, this or is it? Yeah, this is the cargo bay. This cargo bay is in fact pressurized. You have atmosphere in here, but the hangar that launches a small, basically where you would leave and enter the ship from is the hangar. That has no atmosphere. So, and you guys are right next to it. So if somebody opens up that door, you are spaced basically. All right, so you guys are safe. There is a cryo deck for 10 people, though, on this ship. So most of you could go into cryo if you have to, and only 2 of you can escape. If you have to.
Do we have suits at all or helmets?
There are 6 suits on this ship, 1 for each crew member. This ship was not meant to take passengers. So none of you, actually, Otmar, you would have a suit, since you're considered one of the crew. Gideon, there would be a suit for you too. What I'll say is, because you guys are actually part of Throop's crew, I'm going to subtract the normal crew composition of 6 down to 4. So aside from you 2, the captain, there are 3 other crew members on the ship. So we're talking 11 people, not 13, which is a little better. All right. So you guys have launched from the Ionla. Gideon, you're piloting. I will need you to make a piloting check, first of all, to leave the hangar.
My very first piloting check. Pray for me. Okay, never mind. Oh, come on!
All right. What I'll say is we'll remove that panic. We'll at least take the panic away from you guys. We'll
Thank
start the
you.
session without any panic.
Thank you.
0. I have a chance to at least catch your breath before we get out there. Who else has panic? You guys can 0 it out and remove it. So we'll just take your roll, 4 successes. No, not a problem. You launch smoothly. And you can see from your bridge, the way this Corvus class ship is built, the bridge is kind of like a little bubble at the bottom front of the ship. So it gives you like a clear view as to what's going on beneath you and around you. And so you can kind of see in your periphery the 2 other Corvus class ships lift off and launch from this hangar as well. And as you do so, your 3 ships, you hear coming over your comms from the Ionla Gaius's voice. Gaius's voice? Gaius's voice. Return to the Ionla immediately. This is an unauthorized use of vehicles. If you do not return, we will be forced to open fire. Captain Throop tells you, Gideon, gun it.
Gideon's gonna punch it.
And this is where we get into our first space combat of the game.
Ooh.
All right, so here we are.
I'm a little mad that I missed the first space combat. Unconscious.
You think you got problems? I need to call Frank to tell him to send me that research. We're about to get out of here.
I am so excited, so terrified at the same time. Why am
Okay.
I in the driver's seat?
So there are actually 3 ships, but the other 2, Ionla doesn't care about. It is only going to be targeting you, because it knows which ship you're on. By put you guys into initiative. Because none of you are the captain yet. I'm gonna roll. I'll draw the cards for you guys. So the Wicket goes first. So the way space combat works in Aliens is, hold on, let me find my PDF here. Where did it go? There it is. Space combat. So it's divided into 4 sections. One is for sensor ops. Next is for the pilot. Then it goes for the gunners, if there are any. And then the last is engineering actions. So none of you are sensor ops. So what I will do is I will roll for the Eonless sensor tech. Dude. See if they can get a target lock on your ship.
Is there a character sheet for the Yolanda? I can only open up the Wicket's one.
Yeah, you cannot see the Eonla one.
Even
There
though
is
it's
one.
ours?
You don't have the Eonla.
Wicket is ours.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were on the. I'm mixing up the names.
I wish we had the Ilanya.
Dude, that would make this so much easier.
I mean, I kind of had it.
For whatever reason, the way Andrew described that, it just brought me to like Battleship.
Mhm.
All right, so they managed to get target lock, and you can see on your screen a little like flashing red light saying target acquired, and so it's going to fire something on you. Now none of you are on sensor ops on your ship, but I'll let you roll for, remember who has it. 4 dice. Who wants to make that roll? Megs, you're on the ship. You're conscious. I'll let you roll for this. And what this is doing is it's trying to go dark. Basically turn off the transponder and shake the lock.
So what's the roll?
4d6. You need at least 1 success to shake the lock off. Nope. All right, so they've acquired a target lock, which means that when it comes to the gunning phase, they can fire on you. So next step is the piloting check. Gideon, I need you, if you go open up the Wicket character sheet,
Okay.
you should have access to it.
I do, yes.
You should see on the general tab, you are listed as the pilot.
Yes.
If you click on a piloting roll, it will roll for you, and it will add the bonus from your ship because you have one bonus from your thruster.
Okay.
All right. So. Wow. Okay.
Panic do.
Did you not remove your panic? Why are you rolling with?
My panic
Yes.
is gone.
The panic is gone.
Why was there 3 panic dice?
Panic level is 9. No, because she has 3 stress already, and she rolled a 6 on her panic roll.
Well, oh, so we only remove the panic, not the stress.
Correct. You still have the stress.
Okay.
Well, you're unconscious, so you probably lost all your stress by now.
Oh, does Ika lose his stress too?
If you manage to survive this, yeah, maybe. We'll see.
I mean, yeah, that'd be good. That's a good thing not to be stressed about.
All right. So, because you're piloting this ship and you succumb to panic, I'm going to put the little panic flag on you.
Oh no.
Oh no, you already rolled panic. Sorry, never mind. You can ignore that one. That's it. Automatically rolled panic roll for you. I'm going to count that as a negative against your success because you can't really drop it. You just kind of forget your training. All those months of training that Electo put into you. You're now put in a highly stressful situation. Someone is firing on you, and you panic. You zig when you should have zagged. So you have no successes. You do not manage to move. If you had at least 1 net success, you would have been able to move one zone away from the Eonless. So you would have been like that.
Okay.
But you
In my
didn't.
defense, this is the first time I've ever flown.
So the way you guys are going to survive this encounter is if the Wicket manages to get to zone 4. Okay, you got to get to zone 4 before they blow your ship up.
So does the Alanya move at all, or is it just stays at 0?
It will stay there. It has its own pilot because you guys were unable to maneuver away. It doesn't need to bother making its roll. It's right on top. It stays right on top of you. So now we move to the next phase, which is the gunning phase. It will fire on you, and you can see emerging from the bottom of the front of the Ionla was a hidden hard point. This was supposed to be a peace mission. It should not have had any offensive weapons on it. It had flares. It had a defensive laser to blow up incoming missiles. It should not have had any offensive weapons. However, what it comes down is a 400 EV energy weapon, which will not physically damage your ship, but it will knock out various components in it. All right, if it hits. Well, I'll make a gunning check for their particle beam weapon. And this is at contact range, so it gets +2. All right. That's a lot of dice, but only one success. So you guys are going to take damage. So who wants to roll the component damage? All right, Otmar, go ahead into the Wicket character sheet, and you'll see on the general tab minor component damage in the bottom left-hand corner. Click on the wrench, and that'll roll for you. All right. Your escape pod malfunction. Your EEV is not going to work. You cannot escape this ship. The last phase of this round is engineering. You, as engineering, can make a heavy machinery check to see if you can temporarily fix this.
Is there any other things that he could use his heavy machinery, his engineering role to do, like to be more evasive or to try to lose the target?
So if you go to the space combat phases in your character sheet there, you hit the pull down for engineering phase. You'll see what your options are. You can do emergency repairs. You can power up the engine. If it's down, the engine is already running.
Got it.
You can open an airlock. You can space everyone that's in the cargo bay if you like. Or overload the reactor. Those are the options.
Which button do I press? I'll do emergency repairs.
All right.
Oops, so you already know that. And so now I'm going to click this to roll.
All right. So you managed to temporarily fix the EEV launch mechanism. All right. Next round, it has to make a sensor ops check again to see if it can. Every round, it has to make that check.
Is that the 4 dice?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll the 4 dice to see if you can shake the sensor lock. You shake it. It cannot fire this round. It cannot target you. Gideon, go ahead and make your piloting check.
Okie dokie. Here. Come on.
You're no longer allowed to make fun of pilots in this game, Gideon.
This is like putting a person who just got their learner's permit into a Fast and Furious movie. This is not fair.
All right, I'm still enemy engaged. Stress level is decreased by 1, but stress level. All right, so your stress level actually goes down by 1 because this is technically engaged. So you can reduce your stress by 1, but everyone else's stress, those of you who are conscious, will go up by 1. That would be Mags and not Mar.
You conscious losers.
I say, technically,
What's
is
going
this
on up there?
trying to seek cover? That's what she's trying to do. She doesn't get away.
So again, I'm just going to take one of your successes away, but you actually have 1 net success. Actually, I have to make a check for them now to see if they do this. But because this is a colony ship, It's like a locomotive train. Like it's very difficult to accelerate or maneuver. So they have -3 on their roll. No successes. So you actually finally managed to make some distance. Nothing for you to do, Otmar. So we move to the next round. They're going to make another. Go ahead and roll the 4 dice. See if they can get a target lock on you guys.
Otmar would keep trying to work on the escape pod if there's nothing else.
Yeah. No successes. They can't target you. Piloting. Get in. See if you can make some space here. All right. I'll make a pilot check for them. Wow. You do it.
Oh my
Punch it,
God.
Gideon.
Oh,
And as you
I just
manage
hear
to
Tokyo Drift
outmaneuver
in the background.
this colony ship, finally, you take a deep breath, Gideon. Actually, describe to me how Gideon recovers their composure to punch it.
I think it's like kind of like in the movies when a character goes through something super crazy and they're just like holding the wheel so hard their fingers turn white almost. And he's just like, why are my hands hurting? Oh, wait. Okay, I could do this now.
Nice. All right. So you guys managed to escape relatively unscathed. Very nicely done. And now that you're out of range of their weapons, Group just rests her hand on your shoulder. Gideon says, "Good job, kid. You did all right for your first time out."
He's just shaking like, okay.
And you can see her set some navigational coordinates. And you guys enter FTL speed. The fusion reactors, you can hear them spinning up. And you guys kind of just go pew. And you're headed towards your destination. I'm going to bring you back. So you guys can all remove your stress, remove your panic. Aiko, South, both of you are conscious, back at full health.
So can I remove my stress even though I had the nightmare or no?
Oh, no, sorry,
It was-
South. No, you cannot. Not yet, anyway.
It was worth a shot.
You tried. That's what counts.
You can remove your panic, though. And Electo says, gathers you all in the galley, which is a little crowded with all of you in there. We're on our own now. We can't go back to the Eonla. We don't have enough resources to make our way back to the Middle Heavens. Our best chance is to find a colony here in the Far Spin Words and hide. Because I imagine they'll be looking for us. Not perhaps right away, but you can be guaranteed that we're all wanted now. And if they catch us, we'll likely be sent to a penal colony.
Are there
So you all followed
places
me out here?
We can do business with them who wouldn't turn us into a penal colony?
Well, that's up to you. Now, you all followed me out here, and I thank you for that, putting your trust in me. I am not going to tell you how to live the rest of your days. Now,
South
some
is
of
gonna.
you. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
South is gonna kind of put his hands on his forehead and. But how long you think that ship will last, Elenia? You. Or it
It was-
spreads.
Oh. One day, 2, 3 if they're really lucky.
So, in 3 days, nobody will know who we are.
What?
As far as I'm
Good
concerned, we're free people.
Meta question: are we within like comms range of the Yolanya?
Don't you dare!
I swear to God, if you do it, I'm going to.
You
I'm going
rat.
To stick with Beetle. I'm going to stick.
Guys, this is a meta question. Relax.
This is just a theoretical question.
Every time you ask a question, I or someone else gets fucked over. No.
Now, you guys are running dark now. The transponders are off.
Well, I'll tell you what Aiko wants to do, but then you can tell me if it's feasible. And maybe it's him hacking, but basically he wants to pretend that he's like he woke up, but he's still gonna pretend he's unconscious when people come and check on him. And then he wants to try to make a communication call to try to get a hold of Frank, if at all possible.
Okay. This is going to be a couple of checks for you then. Hold on, where are you?
You can leave me out of here. Maybe I'm still unconscious in the med bay.
Nope, there you
Just
are.
picture you laying down, and when someone
Yeah.
walks in, you close your eyes real quick.
Yeah.
Like that little kid, you're just like, no.
Yeah.
You do find that your wrist has been put into a bit of a makeshift, the temporary splints that you'll get in those first aid kits. It's held in place at least. So Aiko, while she is trying to rally the troops and figure out what you guys all want to do, I'm going to have you make, first of all, be a mobility check. See if you can get to a comm unit without being noticed.
Oh god damn it.
Which of you has the highest observation?
I only have a 2.
I think Mags might with
Mine's only 4.
3 plus empathy, right? No, it's wits, so 6.
Oh, Otmar actually has 7. So, Otmar, you notice Aiko moving to a comm unit.
He'd walk over and like pull the power from, or like, just like otherwise stop him. Where do you think you're going, Aiko? Don't touch that. You don't touch that.
Don't understand? There's something very dangerous on Yolanya, and I need to get a hold of somebody to hide a body that has the goo in it. The director. You know the director that everybody thought died and then I got a promotion? Yeah, he's not dead. He's on ice and he's got the black goo in him. And if I don't call Frank to dispose of the body, there's an endless supply of goo on that ship.
Other people are hearing this. The other people in the hold, I guess.
that depends on how you want to approach. I'll leave that up to you if you want to talk to him privately or in front of everyone.
He would confront him publicly. Yeah.
Okay.
So we all hear this. So again, a little bit meta. Who besides Gideon knows that Gideon has the goo? Does anyone know?
I don't think anyone knows. Only Gideon knows.
Okay. So everybody believes it to be either in the possession of Gaius or in the bloodstream of the former director.
My defense, I'm trying to get rid of it as soon as I can.
Nobody knows. So and they wouldn't suspect that either, I don't think. Especially with Aiko so intent on doing this thing.
And if you're speaking in front of everyone, Alecto will step in and says, "You're making a very strong argument, Mr. Kimura, for me to space you right now. If you blow our cover, endanger everyone's lives here by making that call, I guarantee you, you'll be joining them."
Mags might look over at South and say, "What odds are you taking? You getting spaced or what?"
Spaced. I'd space him.
I mean, I'd
You want me
space
to do it,
too.
Cap? Otmar grabs Aiko. Sit over there. Strap in. You know what's good for you.
Is Aiko resisting at all?
He's gonna take a deep breath and go, I've met some real cold-blooded killers on my rise to the top. But y'all cowards are the biggest ones of all. You won't even think of all the kids and families and colonies that could have been started from that ship. You're just going to let them all die.
They're dead already. They just don't know.
Yeah,
Sorry, what was that?
They're dead already. They just don't know it yet.
Otmar nods grimly.
I think South will get up and kind of say what Otmar said. Yeah, just like all the fucking kids and families on Baxter's Reach. I think Wayland loses a ship. That's not going to matter to them.
Yes, but these are educated people, useful
Yeah,
to
fucking
society.
educated, useful to society. Yeah, and the people on Baxter's Reach were useful to our community.
Aiko's not used to negotiating like this.
Aiko, we come to you, saved you. We pulled you out of the brig. You're really gonna run off, try to get comms with the Alanya? Really?
You saved me. Me. You think you saved me?
Technically, NCC 13457 did. He helped us.
We were on the verge of finding the truth of life itself. We could have cured every disease, and now everything is ruined.
Every disease at what? The cost of your humanity?
I'm the only one here trying to save those poor innocent souls.
Thorpe, space this fucker. We shouldn't have pulled you from the brig. It's a waste of time and a waste of NPC 13457. Actually, he'll look at Thorpe and go, "Thorpe, it's your ship. You space him. No skin off my ass."
Otmar looks at those without suits on and says, "You need to get out of here when we open the vacuum."
Is there anywhere for us to go that's not in the with enough space for everybody?
Logistics is space, especially with a busted. It's not an airlock; it's a escape pod, right? Yeah, escape pod.
Is there any like the escape pods or anything, are those pilotable? Like, could those technically pilot back to the Yolanda?
For you, no.
Just kind of brace on all of them.
You could point it in one direction, but the life support system in there only lasts for 10 days. And it's not a cryo unit. So after 10 days, if you're not picked up by someone somewhere, you're gone.
Ugh, all that reason. And the people.
Captain Lin steps forward and says, "Now wait a moment. As someone who has been marginalized on the Ianla for the past 6 months, I can empathize a little bit with Mr. Kimura here. I don't necessarily agree with him, but he has his talents. And none of you know the far spinward colonies like I do. I have visited many of these places already. I can act as your guide. And as despicable as Mr. Kimura is, he does have a certain set of skills that might prove useful in negotiating with locals."
How can we trust him to negotiate with locals when we got to keep an eye on him? He's gonna run back to Wayland the minute let him out of our sight.
We got to align his survival instinct with our own.
Or we could space him. Me and Mags put $20 he was going to be spaced. So
You know, I think Captain Lin's got a point. You know, we don't know what's out there. Sometimes you need a smooth talking lizard to say some fancy words.
Or you need calories, and he's got those too. Just feed them to whoever we find.
Mags makes a good point. We could bet on that. How long he'd last. Drop him off at a colony.
Otmar looks
Over
to
under?
Throop.
He's looking at you, Aiko. Despite what you say, Mr. Kimura, I am not a cold-blooded monster. But my ships, my crew come first. And I've extended that hospitality to these good folks from Baxter's Reach. And Captain Lin, as she looks over at you, Otmar. Everyone on my ships needs to pull their weight. You're willing to be part of my crew, Mr. Kimura. Put your ego and ambition aside for a moment and focus on just surviving. Treat people here as your family rather than your subjects. Or, what did you call them? Backwater hillbillies? A little modicum of respect will go a long way. Or you can be spaced. That choice is yours.
Wow. As Mags would say, gotta know when to hold 'em and know when to fold 'em. But I even got 'em to fold in the first place. So, yeah. Give me a monkey wrench then.
No, Mr. Kimura. I'm not letting you near anything that you can harm mainly yourself with. I'm going to have you on latrine duty first little while.
You know, we could call the Elania and pick up Carl.
We have a deal.
Ah, Ika will just go and pick up like the mop and just walk off.
Before you do, somebody hands her like a blue jumpsuit, and she just kind of hands it to you. Here's your new uniform. See a pair of rubber gloves on top.
Is it even clean?
It's clean. It is. It is clean.
Does it have a helmet?
No. The head's that way. She kind of just points up the hallway.
Straight to the pot, Aiko.
he for once in his life, probably since he was like a teenager, he legitimately doesn't even know what play to make here. He's just kind of like, okay, just almost semi-catatonic, walks off. He obviously takes it with his non-broken hand. He looks really pathetic, mopping the hallway with his like as he's hobbling around.
I think and Seth is he going to be like on cleaning duty with a guard, or they're just going to let him?
Oh yeah, Captain Lin speaks up and says, "I'll go with him." He's
No.
He's
That's
got
okay.
nowhere to go.
I'd like to take. Can I take the first shift?
He looks at you, South, and says, "What will it take for you to start trusting me?"
For you to apologize to Andrea.
I did nothing to that bitch.
Well, this is off to a great start. You may not have indirectly done something to her, but your people did, and she will never trust you until you and her come to terms. And we already have enough people divided on this ship. We don't need another to starting anything.
Well, the people that likely killed her brother were probably killed, possibly even by you and your goon friends.
Not off to a good start calling me a goon. First of all, you come to our home. You realize that. Cooperative came to us.
She steps forward, like she's standing in your face now, defiant. I came to you. I protected your little shit town. It was only after you threw that in my face, held me captive, that my boss had to come down and clean up after me. You had just
Did
fallen in line, done what we had asked.
Did he clean up after you, or did he fail in that matter too? I can't remember. A long time ago. Seemed like he got the business end of it too, didn't he? That's right.
Not only are you wanted by the Middle Heavens, but you're also wanted by the cooperative. Good for you.
And you're sitting on a ship with us, and you can be spaced just as quick as Aiko can. So you either get along with us here and now, you can pretend to get along with us here and now. Or I can have a conversation with Thorpe and you and Iko can go on a little ride to space.
There will come a day when you'll regret having your boot on me.
Fortunately,
she'll
that
just-
day is not today. So you decide.
He just brushes past you and walks away.
Well, I guess me and Iko are on latrine duty.
All right, so with the three of you gone now, Electra Troop looks at the rest of the crew, and she kind of has the other ships on a secret bandwidth channel so that they can all hear her say, like, my plan is to proceed to KOI 784.01, the Dylan colony, where we can make repairs to the EEV on board our ship, resupply, and figure out where we're going to go. And now I know that Ianla is headed in that same direction, but we're faster than them. We'll have at least 4 days before they're able to arrive. So we'll be in and out of there in 2 if we're lucky.
That was 4 days before the outbreak on the Alanya. Said they had
Assuming-
3 days, 3 or 4.
Assuming that there is still in the Ianla. Exactly. Now, beyond that, if any of you want to stay at Dylan Colony, I won't stop you. I'll leave that choice up to you. For me, I'll be continuing on. And again, those of you who wish to join me are most certainly welcome. Now, of the 3 ships, Wicket is the only one capable of planetfall. The other 2 will have to stay in orbit. So if anyone wishes to make planetfall with me, we can shuffle crew around and make sure that those who want to go down can. And of course, if we have to make multiple trips to bring people down, we will do that too. Does anyone have anything to say at this time?
Sounds like a plan, Cap.
Are we all in the same vicinity of one another, right?
You're in latrine with Daiko.
It's a small ship, though. It's just down a half hallway.
Yeah, just a
Yeah,
holler down
yeah.
the hallway.
Yeah.
So I guess South will kind of holler down the hallway. Otmar, Mags, and Gideon. So, what's the game plan? Stay still or keep moving?
I want to keep moving. Figure out how we can do something sustainable, because this ain't it.
I'm with Otmar. I think that's smart.
What do you think, man?
Kind of like this. Kind of like to see the options before I place my chips down on the table. You know.
Yeah, but who's to say we skip this option and the next option's even worse?
Just it. You gotta know how to bet. So, let's see it before we decide. What do you say?
Yeah, that seems reasonable enough to me.
Charge her with mags. She knows how to gamble. The odds have always been in her favor. I'll let her decide. For me, anyway.
I'm okay with that.
Otmar would if he could confront Lynn privately, he'd try to do so and say, "Look, I put my neck out there, got you off that death trap. Least you could do is show a little bit of respect. You can't do that. I think you should get off the next stop."
He looks at you, Otmar, but thank you. I do appreciate it. I truly do. You didn't have to do it. But we both know that of all the people on these ships, I'm the only one who knows these colonies. And I'm honestly likely the closest thing you have to a soldier here.
I ain't denying that, but if you can't get along, why the hell you want to be here?
I don't want.
That settles it then.
You can drop me off at Dillon Colony and I'll make my way back to the cooperative. I'm
All
fine
right.
with that.
That's what you want. That's what we'll do.
Yeah, that's what I want. Because I'm
All right.
clearly wasted here.
I ain't taking that bait. And he walks away.
Mags might be scouring. Like, there's other crew.
Mhm.
Mags might be sort of scouring the ship, trying to meet with some other crew to get a sense for what this destination's like. Trying to learn about this colony. Presumably, none of us know a whole heck of a lot about other colonies around here, right?
There is a Mother 6000 AI on the ship that is really only accessible by the captain. But there are comm terminals where you can make queries and look into things if you like. Or you can ask the crew. Or Captain Lynn might know something.
Hey, Cap, can we get Mag set up with the reference terminal for doing some recon? The Mother? He
She
would ask the
looks-
captain if we could get her some kind of access.
She looks over at Megs and... How good are you with the comm terminal?
Well, I think I could figure out how to press. Is there a button that says press here? I can do that. And then if there's a button that says press here after pressing there, I can do that too. I'm pretty good at following orders, you know.
She looks back at you, Otmar, and says, "No, I don't think so. But I can have someone assigned to you, Miss Megs, to help you with what you're looking for."
Yeah, the sensor tech will help you out.
Aiko, are you up to anything nefarious while you're cleaning the toilets?
He is closest thing to a walking catatonic as you can get. He's literally out of cards. Like unless there's any way that he's actually able to get a hold of that ship, even if it's like a one-way message.
Well, you'll notice that since your first attempt at trying to communicate, there's always somebody watching you. They trust you 0. And you can rest assured you don't even need to make any sort of insight on this, but you're likely locked out of any systems on this ship too. You basically have your bunk your mop, and your gloves to your name right now.
As Aiko's leading the ship, he's like constantly like tapping things, and just the material is just pathetic, right? The bolts aren't even on. There's leaky grease around the bolt slots. Like some of the floor slats aren't aligned. And it's just like irritating him even more and more, because like he's used to flying first class and all this stuff. Like, yeah, he was willing to slum it a bit for the mission, but like now that he's like, I'm gonna be here for potentially a while, like it feels like somebody who's in solitary confinement. That's the level that Aiko is kind of looking at this. And yeah, he's filled with both absolute disgust and a sense of apathy, in the sense that he has no freaking idea, and he doesn't even have anybody he can yell at. Oh, where's a Carl when you need him?
No citations to give.
Oh, don't even get me started. I mean, please get me started. He needs to vent. But yeah, he's just, man.
What was the name of the ship that we were on Baxter's Reach? On that was it a cooperative ship? No, it was the mothership.
It was an SEV from the mothership called Kimati no Kami.
I think as Aiko's cleaning the bathroom, South will say, "Can I trust you just for a second? Be on your own."
You know, the fact that you are not on your hands and knees thanking me for all I did for all of you, and the fact that you're even asking if you can trust me, is just pathetic.
I didn't ask for a lecture. I just asked you a simple question. Can you be trusted on your own to clean the toilet for 5 minutes while I go down to storage? I think
Well, the good news is there's nothing to do on this fucking tin can.
I'm going to take that as a yes. I'll be right back. And he'll go to storage and try to find a bottle of whiskey, something, kind of close to what he brought south on the Okami, and get 2 glasses and bring it with him.
This is a much, much, much smaller ship than the SEV that you guys run. The SEV is like 10 times bigger than this ship. This is very cramped quarters here. I'm gonna have to make you make an observation check to see if you can find what you're looking for. By the way, you can get. Oh,
well,
I was gonna say you can relieve your stress.
I can't. All right, has it been more than one day?
Yeah, it's a
Technically?
20-day trip to this colony. So in that time, I will assume you fail your empathy check. So yeah, go ahead and remove your panic, and we'll count that one black die as your success.
Do we all make observations or just South?
Nope, this is just South, just because he's specifically looking for some whiskey. Which you find.
I get it. I'm gonna bring it to and I'm gonna get 2 glasses and bring it to Aiko in the in the bathroom. A little bit of bathroom whiskey.
Not the best.
Well, so Aiko's immediate reaction is, oh God, look, this is what I give poor people to make them happy. I don't drink this garbage. I never touch alcohol. It robs your thinking. How can you negotiate a deal when you're drunk?
Well, they didn't have any coffee, and you don't have any deals to negotiate.
Aiko's actually gonna look at him like, for the first time, he's actually said something that's made sense. And he's just gonna be like, Fuck it. He's gonna throw the broom. He's gonna take the glass. This is his first shot of whiskey ever. He's never tried it. So how much do you fill up the shot glass?
Uh,
Or are these shot glass? Like what is the drinking vessel? How big
they're-
is it?
just like little whiskey glasses, about like maybe that big.
That's a couple
Fill it up.
shots at least, eh?
Yeah, fill it up about halfway.
Halfway. All right. So Aiko's just gonna down it. Oh. He's gonna immediately throw up in the toilet. Oh.
But I didn't bring it to you for you to waste it. It was more of a peace offering, but I mean, that's all right too, I guess.
Oh my
You're supposed
God.
generally you wait for someone to make a toast before you just shoot it all back, but
This is what
all
this
right.
tastes like?
It gets
Do you
good
not have
once
taste buds?
it's good once you get through, the first 3 or 4 shots.
Oh.
Generally you sometimes have a chaser, but
Oh.
Wicket's kind of short on chasers, so great whiskey it was.
Ah. Your pathetic attempt to cheer me up is noted.
But I just figured on the Okami you brought me whiskey when I was having that conversation with Lynn. Figured I was trying to be sentimental, but excuse the fuck out of me. That won't happen again.
Look. I don't know if you can figure out what's really going on here, but how do you know this Rob character isn't about to sell us out here?
Throop is he's good people, I think. I'd like to think. Over our time on the Alanya, me and Otmar, we ran some missions for her. She seems pretty straightforward. Got a good head on her shoulders. I'm more interested in why you're so eager to go back to the Alanya. What do you want with Frank? What do you want? Come on, Aiko.
I
That
already
black
told
goo.
you, the director's body needs to be hidden. If the body is hidden, we might be able to save the Yolanya and all those people on board. You know what? If you want to be a real hero, you make the call. We don't even need to get a reply. You just need to send a one-way comm, and you can make it untraceable. Send a one-way comm to Frank, and I'll give him the access code. Tell him he has to go into my office and hide or dispose of the body immediately. Well, although actually it's been 20 days. It's been 20 days, right?
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh,
We'll say it's a couple days, and
Yeah, but I make that call and they track it back to us, and I put my friends in danger.
No. Well, I'm willing to make a Comtech roll, but can I show him or is there a way I can make it so it's like a one-way signal that has no trace back?
yeah. You can instruct them on how to do that. And South, if you were going to make that Comtech check yourself, I'll give you a +1 die with Aiko's help.
Ooh, so I'll have 4 die. Aiko, you can't. These people, they destroyed Baxter's Reach. You can't honestly tell me that you're telling me I should be the ones to go and save them after they made no effort to save my people on Baxter's Reach?
Look,
Backwood people, as you say?
there are those who should be held responsible for dropping the nuke. And there are members on the council which I wouldn't fault you for wanting to kill. There's tens of thousands of families and colonies on that ship that are going to be going all over the world. Not to mention how much property that's worth to Whale and Yutani. But forgetting all that, All you need to do is send a message and you could save thousands of lives and potentially thousands of generations.
I think South will pour another 2 glasses, and hand one to Aiko again.
He'll like very awkwardly just sip a tiny little bit of it.
I guess if I don't help, I guess we're truly no different than Wayland. I'll try. I'll try to get you close to a terminal. But you send one word about where we're at or anything fishy, I can't protect you from Thorpe.
Well, while you're in this trusting mood, I have one more favor to ask.
Patience wearing thin.
This Throop character. Let me give you your second lesson in how to be a CEO. Trust, but verify. She says she's just gonna drop us off at this colony and let us go on our way. I need you to dig up some information on this location, and I need you to figure out if there's any way that there's already been a bounty put on us or she's going to sell us into slavery. You need to do some digging. You need to get some intel. Because the second we land on that planet, we might be in cuffs.
I think if she was going to sell anyone, it'd be you.
I am the most valuable one here.
I'm just a backwoods farmer, as you say. Ain't got nothing to worry about. But again, I'll try to get you close to a comm so you can send your message.
Do you not realize that you have knowledge of one of the most potent bioweapons in the entire universe? You are one of the most important people alive now. This is top tier classified information.
Only to the people that know I have it. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't know shit.
This is my point. You need to do some digging, or you're going to get got.
I'm going to shift now to Gideon.
I think while all this is going on, Gideon's gonna look for kind of like a quiet time. Does he actually have the knowledge of how to jettison something off the ship, or is that something he doesn't quite know?
There's only a few ways to get something off the ship. One is like to space it, which is going to be like pretty obvious to everybody on board, or you put in like a trash compactor thing, and it gets jettisoned as trash. Or yeah, that's really the only two ways you can get rid of it.
Okay. I think his first instinct is to trash it, but he's also slightly feeling guilty for a really stupid thing he did. So he's gonna try and find a quiet time to go and talk to Throop really quickly.
Yeah. You meant to. Throop is very approachable by her crew. Everyone seems to love her and respect her. So when you want some time with her, yeah, it's just no problem. Yeah, what's up, Gideon? Everything okay?
Well, I might have done something really stupid, and you gotta promise not to be mad.
How stupid?
Probably very stupid, but at the time it seemed like a smart idea.
What are you talking about?
Gideon's gonna sheepishly pull a syringe out of his pocket and just be like, I was trying to find a time, get rid of it.
That had better not be what I think it is.
I didn't want Gaius to have it because I thought this was like the only sample. And I thought maybe if I took it and based it out here, then everyone would be okay. But kind of stupid now because I realized there was apparently more than one.
You can see her Just kind of like face palm herself. I would have expected it from Aiko. But you?
I was gonna
Who
try.
else knows about it?
No one else.
Good.
I was gonna try and get rid of it as soon as we got off, but then all that stuff happened. And then I was gonna try and sneak it off, but then I thought that was an even worse idea. Please don't be mad.
Crazy.
I was gonna try and space it, but I realized don't quite know how.
She holds her hand up for it.
And he's gonna hand it over. Still very sheepish.
You can see her turn around, open up a desk drawer, and close it and lock it. It's okay. Don't tell anyone about this. I'm gonna find a way to safely destroy it without putting everyone at risk, not only on the ship but at the colony that we're headed towards.
Could
Left
you
me in a
just-
very difficult position, Gideon.
Sorry, I thought it was the only sample, and I didn't want Gaius to still have it. I thought maybe if I could grab it and just chuck it really quickly, it might be okay.
You're a good kid, Gideon, but maybe not the brightest one. Ah. All right. Just don't do anything like that again, please. If you see shit like that around, don't pick it up. It's not a stray puppy. Just leave it, please.
Okay. You're not gonna toss it out?
I have to figure out the best way to destroy this thing. I'm afraid of what will happen if I just eject it. I want to destroy it. And I don't quite know how to do that.
Could we like incinerate it, maybe?
There's no incinerator shit.
Oh.
Unless you feel like opening up the fusion reactor and dumping it in there, then no, there's no easy way.
Okay,
Right,
I'm
kid.
sorry.
It's okay. We'll figure this out. Don't tell anyone, especially not Aiko.
In my defense, I thought it was the only sample. I didn't realize Daiko had stashed an entire body full of the stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So bad. All right. Gideon, thanks. Just you can go. You're dismissed. Don't do it again.
Okay. I'm sorry.
And she kind of leads you to her door, close it, and you can just see her sigh on the other side of the door and start swearing. Megs and Otmar. How? First of all, actually, Megs, I'm gonna have you make a comm tech check with a +1 to your die with the help you're getting from the sensor ops technician. Push it.
Why not?
You're looking through the databanks of the ship, and nothing is coming up for Dylan Colony. And as you're looking through this, Otmar, I'm going to say you're nearby too, not too far. Andrea kind of comes up and says, Miss Meggs, Otmar, do you have a sec? And you see the sensor
What is
tech
it?
guy you see the sensor tech guy just kind of look at you guys. I'll let you guys talk, and he walks away. Andrea sits down where the sensor tech was sitting and says, I've been giving this some thought, and I am not Benji. I have absolutely no desire to be in space. This whole idea that I'm in this tin ship in a sea of absolute nothingness kind of creeps me out. I think when we get to Dylan Colony, I'm going to stay there.
I think that's okay. You got a plan? How you going to keep safe?
All I've known is colony life. I'll find a way to make myself useful. Find a way to start over. That's the life I know. I don't know what to do in this ship. Captain Throop's got me in the galley, like preparing meals and stuff, but half the stuff is already like pre-prepared, and mainly just me opening cans and taking plastic seals off things, and not really.
I know what you mean. In here, I want to help you get your start. And he would give her $200 in cash credits.
And she looks at that. It's, no, Mister. I can't take this. You've already done so much for me.
You're gonna need something. Help you get started. Keep you fed. Keep it.
Now, I don't suppose either of you would be interested in staying. Too? It'd be nice to have a familiar face around.
Besides Captain Lin, who I assume will be there with you.
Yeah, I think she's getting off.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
Yeah, and actually, that's another reason why. I know Benji spoke highly of you, Mr. Ettinger, and I don't know. I just thought maybe you might want to consider settling down again someplace.
You know, that's a real nice idea, and I think we're gonna take a look at this colony and see what's what. I'm not ruling it out, but I think I need to keep on moving. You know, I need to be moving for a while. Get away from some things that are behind me.
What about you, Miss Meggs? I'm sure any colony is in dire need of your services. I'm sure you could make a name for yourself, build yourself a little business.
I was thinking the same thing, but can't seem to find any information about this colony. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. I don't know what to tell you. If it looks right, if it feels right, I might just stay with you. But let's give it a moment, shall we?
All right, that's fair. That's fair. But I am going to tell Captain Throop that I intend on staying.
I think that's
Assuming-
respectful. Yeah.
Okay. Assuming they're not all cannibals or crazy people down there.
If so, we have a solution for Aiko and the captain.
I'd love to see that, actually. um, so, she'll leave. You guys have the better part of 20 days now to make any other plans or have any other conversations that you'd like to. Captain Lynn, for the most part, keeps to herself. Andrea seems to get more and more excited as you approach Dylan Colony at the prospect of settling down and finding a new home. Electo Throop actually kind of gathers you guys together and says, are you all good to check out this planet, Dylan Colony? I don't know much about it myself.
Yeah, we're ready to take a look. See what's what.
I'm curious to see another colony.
How can we stay in contact while we're down there?
Well, I'm landing. We're landing this whole ship, right? This is the one that can make planetfall. So,
Yeah, and with the other birds?
we'll have contact with them for roughly half the day when they're in radio.
Hey, that seems like a lifetime. Not used to that orbital period. Sounds like a dream.
Yeah. So the mission is going to be pretty straightforward. Land, leave it behind anyone who wishes to stay. Possibly negotiate for some supplies. Repair our ship, the EEV launch mechanism, and then get on our way. I don't want to be there more than 2 days.
2 days. All right.
The next question is, what should I do with Aiko?
Space him! Oh goodness. Yeah. I don't know why y'all looking at me.
Whatever
Been,
you say.
been working latrine duty with him, keeping an eye on him. Think he may be coming around. Not saying leave him, not saying keep him. Just see how things go down there. Go from there.
I'll be leading this mission, planet side. You obviously will all come. If you think Aiko is okay to come with us and it can provide some value, I'll let him come. I understand Andrea has already approached me and said she wishes to stay, assuming the locals are friendly. As has Captain Lynn. Aiko, if he comes with us, has to be on a very short leash.
Understood. Keep an eye on him. I will, however, need a firearm to keep an eye on him. That I won't drop. We're rescue and salvage operation. We're not mercenaries.
There are only 2 pulse rifles on board. I have one of them. I will give the other one to you.
I appreciate that, Throop.
Let me be clear. We're going to try and negotiate with these friendlies. I have no intention of shooting them up.
The only person I might have intentions of shooting up is Aiko, if he gets out of line. I'm not trying to start a war on a colony.
Okay. The right pulse rifle here. It is the Armat M41A. There you go. It's in your inventory. You'll have 1 reload on that. Okay. All right, then. We'll make planetfall in a few days. Gideon, you got this? It's going to be a rough ride. I don't know if you've ever done a planet side. I know we've done it on simulators, but when you're in it and you feel it'll be a bumpy ride. So, but I'll be there behind you to guide you.
Okay, I think I can do it.
All right. So, did you want to make that message? Send that message out.
I think, yeah, I guess if Aiko and South can get a minute away from everybody in these cramped quarters, we'll try to let Aiko get to a console and send the message out.
So, South, you'd be logging in with your credentials, and then you hand it over to Aiko.
Unfortunately, yes. But South is going to keep, he's going to stay right on top of Aiko to make sure if he deviates anything from what he says, he'll yank him off the comms and cut it short.
How far into the trip, from the day like 2 to 20, do you do this?
I think South would be trying to make people feel more at ease with Aiko being there, and trying to let people get used to their routine. I'd say probably about 3/4 of the way through the trip, maybe.
Okay, so somewhere around day 15. Okay.
Yeah.
2 weeks in, you decide to give Aiko your password. Okay. Aiko, you have access.
So Aiko wants to send a twofold message. The first is to, assuming it's even possible, go into my office. I give him the access code, hide the body, dispose of everything, if possible. And then the second part of it is, I ask him to send me. I ask him to find a contact on Dylan Colony and send all the research encrypted to a contact who's supposed to find me on that planet. And then also
Okay.
give me a status of what happened on the ship.
Okay. In that encrypted message.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Go ahead and make it-
I include my cipher along with the thing, so I have the matching decryption.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make that contact check for me, please.
Oh no. Yes! It's happening.
Damn it, Aiko! I trusted you not to tell him where we were going.
I didn't.
You
I
did. You
just
told
said-
him to have a contact.
You literally said go to Dylan Colony.
Yeah,
No,
this is-
no.
You literally said it.
I said to send it to an encrypted contact on Dylan Colony, and for that,
Where else would we be going so you could get the information?
guys, you don't need to worry about it.
You literally just had a giant neon sign pointing to where we're going.
I said I wouldn't tell them where we are. We're on a ship. I didn't say I wouldn't
It's
tell them
where we're going. We're going to be there.
You didn't say that. You didn't say that. You said don't tell them where we are. We're on the ship.
It's implied.
Can I make a contested roll to see if I notice anything off with this message?
Yeah, go ahead and make an observation check. No, all legit.
Can I push it?
No, you can't push an observation like this.
Ah, damn it, Aiko.
This
Yeah, it
is
looks
really
legit.
great or good.
All right, so Aiko, you are satisfied that the message has been sent. You get a little acknowledgement blip saying, "Yep, message sent." Now there was a follow up. You wanted to find out some information about the Dylan Colony.
Well,
Do you
yeah.
wanna
So
try
that
that
was
now?
curious if Ico. Well, this would involve. Oh, sorry. This would involve South. They're doing some research on the colony, or, even. So assuming 2 weeks have passed, Ico is going to be instructing South on ways he can conduct research. So log in, try to get access to her journals, try to go through her phone logs, try to find if there's any communication to the planet, try to see if there's any mercenary groups on the planet, how to do research. So he's going to tell South how to do all of this kind of stuff that Ico would usually use to build blackmail. It's up to South, obviously, if he wants to do this, but Ico kind of gives him all the tools of the trade while we're scrubbing the halls.
Go ahead, South.
Oh, would that be Comtech?
Yep. This one you can push if you want.
I think South is too backwoodsy. His computers are not his forte. He's a prospector.
You guys are going in blind. Okay. So everyone reduce their stress again down to 0. It is the day before you arrive at Dylan Colony. South, I need you to make another empathy check to see if you have a nightmare the day before.
I haven't had a nightmare in 21 days.
Oh, you might have had some here and there, but I'm assuming that you managed to recover. Yeah, you have a nightmare. Sorry, man. So you're starting the day with 1 stress, and you cannot clear stress this day. So before you wake up on this momentous day when you are supposed to make planetfall with a new colony, you have that same recurring nightmare. Being chased through endless, dark, alien tunnels by a horde of xenomorphs. Always ending with that horrific mushroom cloud. Absolutely erasing any trace of that breach. Your home, the only home you had known for so long. You wake up from that nightmare in a cold sweat, and you realize you're already late for that morning's briefing before you make planetfall.
I think South
all-
will get up and try to get dressed as quick as he can and try to find Aiko on the way to the briefing for sure.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, do you find Aiko?
No funny business when we get down there.
What you can tell because you've spent two weeks with him. You can tell Aiko is like obviously up to something when he's like, no, yeah, no.
Why are you so sweaty? Why are your eyes darting back and forth?
I'm just can't wait to get off this tin can, you know?
Aiko, are you wearing your blue jumpsuit
Oh
or
yeah, he's
or your
committed to the
old
bit.
clothes?
No,
Okay.
he's wearing the jumper.
Okay. I'm not sure what happened to Megs.
I think he had to go.
Oh, he had to go.
I will say, one other thing. Did any area that Aiko was allowed to clean, he was gonna snoop. So I don't know if there's anything he could have found or had access to, but the entire time he was cleaning, he was snooping where possible.
What are you stooping for?
Anything. I'm opening drawers. I'm seeing if there's comms I can read. Literally trying to gather any bit of whatever I can find.
Yeah. Go ahead and make an observation check, Ryan. Okay. Can you make a mobility check, you please? I'm gonna have Gideon roll. Gideon, can you roll 4 dice for me, please?
Happily.
Aiko. You make your way into Captain Throop's room. Snooping away as you're sweeping the floors, and you notice that her drawer is locked. And typically you have somebody shadowing you all the time, but it's been several weeks now and you've done nothing and they're tired of watching you mop the floor. So you're left alone for a brief moment. And you find a locked drawer.
I'm gonna try to pick the lock.
All that vouching I did for you, right down the toilet.
I'm trying to protect us. This is for us.
You have a weird way of doing it.
I'll let you choose. I'm not quite sure what to use here. You can either use like a mobility or a survival check. I think those are the only two ones that.
We'll go for survival, sure.
Or even a medical aid check, because it's kind of similar to.
Yeah, survival. Yeah, just.
Okay.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah.
It's not a very complicated lock. You hear a nice satisfactory click and the drawer opens. And you see lying in it a syringe filled with black goo.
He's very confused and excited at the same time. He needs a minute to think here. Two questions. It's a bit far-fetched, but I'll ask the question. You can let me know. Is it reasonable to assume that there's like another syringe on like some like very basic medical supplies, including like an empty syringe, like a sterile syringe on the ship?
Let me double check here.
You really gonna try the old switcheroo?
Yeah, I kind of want to swap it with some black ink or something like that.
The
So
thin
there
ink?
is no med bay on board, but they do have like first aid kits and
Yes,
stuff. They
that's what
typically
I'm looking for.
have syringes, but the syringes that they would have would be mainly for like cleaning wounds out and stuff, not so much to inject anyone with. So I don't know
Yeah.
if you know the difference, but those ones are more like they don't have a closed
Oh,
like
I'm
needle.
not.
Right.
Well, I'm even just looking for something where I can seal it. That's really all I care about. If there's like, even if there's like just a sterile bottle, even like a piss sample bottle, like I don't care. Like I just want to get it out.
Yep.
But then before I do that though, I want to make sure there's either some ink or something on board that I can make it look like that and put it back into the needle.
Yeah. Go ahead and make another observation check.
And keep in mind, I've got all the cleaning supplies, so I'm assuming there might be something I could gerrymander. Oh yeah.
Go ahead and make I'm gonna say a survival check, and you can add 2 extra dice to it.
Base modifier +2 then.
Mhm. Push that.
Yes.
Roll stress die. Right. So you don't find anything like ink or anything like that, but you do find like a mixture of cleaning chemicals and whatnot that you could kind of simulate something that looks at least the same color.
So I've now got it in this like little vial. I'm trying to think like where I would put it. While I was cleaning, is there a part of the ship that is like obviously like nobody goes here, nobody cares, like a random vent behind a toilet or something like that?
No, this is a small ship and already overcrowded. It's like it's cramped quarters. It's hard to find something that's. We can try. There's likely a good chance it's found.
What type of boots does Aiko have?
It'd be standard like work boots.
Are they the ones with like the thick reinforced heel at the bottom where I could actually like potentially put it in there?
Probably not enough room in your boot.
Okay,
Or-
change your plans
Wow.
then. And so I'm going to allow people to make an observation check. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take my boots and I'm just going to put them in my locker, but I'm actually going to put the black goo sample inside the boot, and I'm going to be wearing, so I'm still wearing my like overalls and everything, but I'm wearing my regular business shoes when I walk into the meeting with everybody.
I'd love for you to be wearing a syringe in your boots.
I was
That would be
thinking
so
about
funny. So just your crack.
Well, it's not a syringe. It's just like a little container at this point. Too. What is the vessel that it's in?
It'll be like a little. I'm gonna say it's a little bottle that you can just like
Yeah,
even this like a pill bottle. It's not going to be like hermetically sealed or anything like that. So
I taped it up around it too.
yeah. All right. You do your best. You tuck it into your boot and you walk into the briefing in your jumpsuit and your black dress shoes. I'll let each of you guys roll an observation check to see if you
But
notice this
keep in
wonderful
mind,
fashion
y'all
statement.
have seen Shawshank Redemption, I hope, right? Nobody looks at the shoes. Nobody looks at the shoes.
I look at the shoes apparently.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, you all look at the shoes.
I think everybody looks at the shoes.
I guess if I've been walking like an inch and a half taller for 2 weeks and then I'm shorter, you're like.
And they also probably make a noise, like that little click click noise,
Yeah,
as opposed
that's
to your work
very
boots are going to be
fair.
a little quieter. And everyone just turns to look at you, Aiko, and the gaze drops to your shoes.
They're more comfortable, okay? Give me a break.
Didn't you used to be like 2 inches taller?
Yeah, did you shrink?
Har har har. Yes, I'm off my high horse. Can we just get off this fucking can, please?
Um,
Little fashion
Captain.
statement.
Captain Throop says, Whatever. Take a seat, Mr. Kimura.
You mind if I take a look? Seems a little bit suspicious. Go wearing the dress shoes.
What is that? Survival check for Aiko?
I hit the space bar when I put my feet up on the desk.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sorry, what was the question, Otmar?
Otmar wants to. He's the TSA official. He wants you to take your shoes off.
Well, I do suppose these are worth more than your entire family has ever made in their lifetime. Here you go. And he takes off his shoe and just throws it at him.
Maybe he'll shrink again. I want to see if he can shrink a couple more inches.
So he would inspect it, and if there was nothing in it, he would gesture for the other one.
Aiko's gonna take off his socks too and put them in his pockets. He's also gonna offer it if he wants to start unzipping his overalls.
I don't mind. Go ahead. Get started.
Aiko's
Does
gonna strip down
see
to his
anything?
skivvies. Aiko's standing in the hall in the room in his underwear.
All right, Mr. Kimura, please put your clothes back on. Mr.
You know, it
Ettinger,
would at least be nice to have some freaking coffee.
I mean, it makes me like to have some freaking coffee. No one listens to you, Aiko. Just shut up.
All right. All right. Folks, please. We're about to make first contact with this colony after 75 years. I would like to make a favorable impression on them because we are reliant on them to provide us with some supplies before we move on to our next destination. Having this extra number of mouths to feed on board has kind of drained our rations and supplies somewhat.
It tasted very bad too, by the way.
You're more than
No one
welcome to
asked
stay
you,
here if you
Aiko.
like, Mr. Kimura. Now, myself and South are the only ones that will be carrying weapons. This is a peaceful negotiation. Please let me remind you. And you are all representing us. So please be on your best behavior. Don't antagonize the locals. And as she's saying this, she's looking directly at you, Aiko. God knows why your friends have vouched for you to come along on this mission. But don't let me regret it.
It'll be like I'm not even there.
All right. In and out, 2 days. We don't know much about this colony, aside from the fact that it used to be a mining colony before the isolation. We don't know what state they're in. We've come across other colonies in the past where they have been relatively unscathed. Others, similar to what happened at Baxter's Reach, the population dwindled a little bit. Whereas others were very hostile to us. So it can be anywhere in that spectrum. Please be prepared for everything. Above all else, your safety is paramount. I will not risk the crew or the ship. If we are threatened in any way, we are to rendezvous back on Wicket and we'll leave. Better to leave and go hungry for a few days than all of us either being stranded on this planet unwittingly or worse. I make myself clear.
Very.
Right then, once we're in the colony and once we've been accepted, I'll have you each pair off, do a bit of reconnaissance, try to find anything that we might be able to bargain for. I'm looking for water, food, spare parts if they have any, and we have tools that we could possibly trade with them. We don't have much. This is a salvage ship, but we have hundreds of tools. Okay. All right. Any questions?
I have a meta question. Are there like space post offices on these things? Like, would they be able to like send something somewhere?
There are no space. It's called the isolation for a reason.
Just curious.
Otmar would ask through, what's the count of those who we think are moving on, and can we get enough suits for everybody? Make things a lot simpler.
Well, we'll do a first pass over the colony to make sure that it is a breathable atmosphere. From even from this distance, it looks like it is Earth-like in a lot of ways. And so it should be fine. We do only have 6 suits on board. If this is an Earth breathable atmosphere, we will not be wearing them. We'll be leaving them for the crew that remains on board. As far as people who are staying, aside from Andrea and Captain Lynn, there have been 4 others who have come forward.
I guess South hears Lynn's name come up. As far as people staying, we kind of glance over. Captain Lynn. She's staying with us. She can't be trusted to go out on her own. We go back to the cooperative, and that'll just be another person hunting us. We'll have the cooperative and mothership looking for us.
Yeah, don't we already have the cooperative chasing us? Why not just let her do her own thing? She hasn't been bothering everybody.
But she knows the ship. She knows where we've been.
You
Can I do a little bit of retcon here?
Mhm.
Aiko actually sees an enormous opportunity here. So while he was cleaning, would he have been able to have a private conversation at some point with Captain Lynn?
Yeah, as private. Yeah, as privates can be in a small ship. Yeah.
Captain, I know we haven't really seen eye to eye, but I was wondering if there was a mutual benefit of having you return to Baxter's Reach.
Now, why the hell would I go back there?
You can meet back up with your clan or whatever you guys call yourselves.
Where would I go? The 30-kilometer crater that has been left there by the nuke?
Obviously, some people survived. They didn't nuke the whole planet. You can target a zone. It was a single nuke. There's still people there.
Do you know that for a fact? Because I know for a fact that Baxter's Reach was the only colony on that planet.
I would probably have. So, what does Ico know? Like, does Ico know if there's like the ship would know if there's survivors? Is there enough people there?
No, there would be no survivors from a nuclear blast. It was a small town of, like,
And all of the cooperative was in there.
at Baxter's Reach.
Yeah.
The cooperative were from off planet. They have their own colony.
Okay. Sorry, that's what I was confused on. Okay, yeah, sorry. All right, so let me just fix that conversation a little bit. All right, so he's gonna say, what if there was a way I could get you back to the cooperative, but I need you to swing by Baxter's Reach?
I'm not going back to that hellhole. There's nothing left there. Except those god-awful bugs. And I'm not going back. And frankly, I don't trust you worth a shit. So
I understand. But if there was a ticket back home, you're saying you wouldn't take it?
and how, as she looks at you in your janitor uniform, how are you going to offer me this golden ticket home?
Well, here's what I can tell you. Nobody on this crew is going to let you go. They'd rather kill you or leave you stranded or keep you prisoner. But given how small this place is and how little food there is, I'm probably leaning towards the other two options. They have a hard time killing people out of cold blood. They're not like you and me. But I think when the food starts to dry thin or their patience wears out, you and I might be the first ones to go, you in particular. On the other hand, I may have some leverage I'm working with, and I might be able to convince the rest of the crew to let you safely go back to the cooperative. You'll have assurances, of course, from you to us that you
The rest
won't.
of you, the rest of the crew hates your guts. Did you not get that vibe, or can you not read the room?
How are you a captain? What does liking me have anything to do with a bargaining position? Give me a break. Look, the short answer and the deal is this. If you swear on your life that you will go to Baxter's Reach and grab me
I'm
some
not
information,
going to
I will find a
Baxter's
way to
Reach.
get you back to the cooperative.
No. No to Baxter's Reach. No to listening to anything you have to say. No to the last 10 minutes of listening to this bullshit. No, no, no.
When you change your mind, come find me. Oh, fuck off.
But I will let you make a manipulation check.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. Yes.
She does kind of look over her shoulder at you, though, as she leaves. You know you've planted something there. All right. South. Back to your conversation with Captain Lynn. And she's saying, listen, South, I don't know what it is. Like, what bug crawled up your ass and why you have such a hate on for me. But I don't owe you. I don't owe anyone anything. You have no control over me on the ship. I am your equal as far as Captain Troop is concerned.
Wasn't it you who said you'll regret the day you had a boot on me or something of that matter? So why would I willingly let you go to a colony where you can contact the cooperative knowing the name of the ship we're on, what it looks like, who's on it, where our last position was? You're a commander. You know that doesn't make sense. Why would anyone do that? What's the old saying? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer? Well, with you being on the ship, you're about as close as you can get to me.
I'm getting off on this planet. And you're going to have to shoot me. You want to
Well,
stop me.
we're not on the planet yet. And I think that's up to Throop. Whether or not you get to go on planet.
She's already told me I can.
I can have a conversation with her. We can quickly fix that problem. You
What
can
are you
sit
going
in
to tell her?
space.
Is this a
Tell
public
her
conversation or is this just between those two?
I think it was when we were having the meeting with everybody, wasn't it?
Okay.
So just while this is going on, Aiko's gonna be giving her the.
Now, are you sure the cooperative's such a big deal right now? I mean, compared to everything else that's going on, I feel like they're pretty low on the priorities. And she hasn't been bothering anybody.
She hasn't been bothering anybody, but she hasn't necessarily been, and no pun intended, but cooperative by any means. Like I said, she knows the ship, she knows the people on it, she knows our last location. How do we know she didn't plant a tracker somewhere in the ship so
You
when
know
we
what?
leave,
I don't understand.
cooperative come looking?
You kidnapped me. It was not my choice to be here. You could have let me go back to the cooperative from day one on Baxter's Reach. But
You
here I
gave
am.
us no choice. We literally had guns drawn on one another. You killed well, okay, let me rephrase that. Your people killed Benji. What did you expect us to do? The whole uprising on Bax's Reach was because y'all wanted to insert dominance on our small town. We didn't need your help. Regardless of whatever what was her name? The
Elena Brooks?
Elena,
No?
whatever Elena Brooks told you with the we didn't need your help. We would have been fine. You and Elena had whatever your agreement was. But Bax's Reach is gone, so as far as I'm concerned, that agreement is null and void.
First of all, Benji was no innocent.
Benji was a
From the
kid.
reports I read, he was willing to kill. He had a gun. He was in that fight. He knew what could have happened.
He's a kid. He doesn't know any better. He smoked cigarettes that I gave him because he didn't know any better.
Gave him the gun. As soon as he picks up a gun and he starts pointing it at people, he's got to be prepared.
He was prepared. He picked up the gun to defend his home, the home you invaded. Don't look around now like you're confused. You know I'm right.
Invade. Listen,
You weren't
we
invited.
can argue here till we're blue in the face. It's not going to change anything. I'm getting off this tin can. And there's nothing you can do or say to stop me. But I'd love to see you try.
Say what, Len? Go. But I promise you, see you again. Your cooperative pals. Whatever pain you inflict on me, you better hope it kills me. Because if it doesn't, first one I'm coming after.
Miles, that's you. I'm counting that.
I can't wait. I can't wait for these people. What was the planet we're landed on?
Dylan Colony.
Dylan. I can't wait. These people on Dylan. You and your cooperative pals decide you want to come swoop in and give them false promises of protection. And they uprise same way Baxter's Reach did. What is it? What's the old saying? History repeats itself. You'll fall and fall just like you did on Baxter's Reach. you and Waylon both, and he'll kind of look at Aiko.
She's about to say something. This is wasted. And she'll just push past you. And Electothroops says, all right, folks, we're coming up to Dillon Colony. Patience, please. Gideon, you're back in the pilot seat. Otmar, back in the engine room. South, where do you want to be? This happens when you guys make planetfall.
As close to Lynn as I can be.
Okay. Lynn is just going to the cargo hold, strapping herself in.
I'm gonna get Aiko on one side and Lynn on the other.
Babysitter. Babysitter with a gun. Okay. So, as you approach the planet, KOI 784.01, the world of tropical jungles and mesas, with staggering cavern systems that fan out across the world. It is presumably rich in mineral prospects offered by these massive cavern systems that weave beneath these mesas and the surface of this planet. The planet itself is incredibly hot and humid, constantly racked by lightning storms and massive rainstorms. The average temperature is about 48 degrees Celsius. It is stifling hot. As you do your, as you make your approach and entry into the atmosphere, I need a piloting check. Okay.
Did it.
All right, so you managed to break through the atmosphere on your first attempt. It is a rough ride, not not as smooth as when Ezra brought in the SEV for landing, despite the fact that it did crash land. But given that fact, this is your first attempt at landing a ship. It's pretty good. And as you break through the atmosphere, break through the clouds, and you're immediately set upon by lightning storms and torrential rain, and you do a flyover of this mesa where the colony is expected to be situated, you see a small huddle of makeshift tents and shelters made out of scraps of corrugated steel, any kind of lumber they might be able to scrape together, just kind of piled up together into a small huddle on top of one of these mesas. And there are a number of different plateaus or mesas about and connected by these long rope bridges, expanding like hundreds of meters above the jungle floor beneath it. Dizzying heights. There is nowhere to land near the colony without destroying all their homes with the engine blast. You have a couple of choices here. You can land the ship at a nearby plateau that is kind of relatively clear. It kind of looks like it's been cleared for some kind of farmland to be landing in the middle of this field. That does have a bridge connecting you to the main community, or you can land a little further away on a more clear Misa, but then you would have to, like, find a way down onto the jungle floor, make your way across and back up somehow.
Okay. Does it look like the field has like crops actively growing in it, or does it just kind of look like an empty field?
It looks like it is actively being harvested.
Okay, then he's probably gonna try and park a little further away then.
Yeah. All right. So you decide to land on a Misa a little ways off, the closest one you can find to this series of plateaus. The distance bridged is merely maybe 30, 40 meters. But since there is no bridge, you would have to descend 100 meters down, walk that 30 meters, and then somehow climb back up. All right, so you decide to land there. I need you to make another piloting check for me, please.
Okay. Don't fail me now.
You bring the ship safely down. You can see the tops of the trees whip in a mad frenzy as your ship kind of lowers them into their small clearing in their midst. But it is safely landed. You can just feel a little pat on the back of your shoulders. Good job, Gideon. And then she turns around to the rest of the crew. Saddle up, boys. Let's go meet our hosts. And before she actually opens the door, she'll do a quick reading of the atmosphere outside. And she tells you, like, it is damn hot here. It is raining. So don't overdress. Yes?
Hey, Captain, I wonder if the locals might be able to bridge that gap out of curiosity if we just stay put for a while. What do you think about that?
We could do that. See if they send out a welcoming party.
We got a drone or any kind of reconnaissance we could do without opening the doors?
No. You guys are kind of huddled onto the bridge of the ship, which is, again, a small little glass bubble almost hanging off the front of the ship. She's standing there. Gideon, you're there with the pilot. You see the sensor tech there. And the rest of you are kind of huddled near the back. The rest of the crew and the passengers are back in the cargo hold. But as you are standing there, you see emerging from the tree line around you what look to be people, humans. These humans are not dressed in any kind of clothing. They're wearing loincloths. They look to be covered in mud. They're holding spears. If these were the original colonists that inhabited this place before the isolation, they have regressed tremendously. And that's where we'll end today's session.
Good luck with that, Captain Lynn.
How's it feel to not have Wi-Fi?
I will say this, though. When you were flying over the small community, you would have seen people as well, kind of like standing there, pointing up, kind of shielding themselves from your engine blast and the light. they were dressed normally. They looked normal. They were a little grungy looking, but they were dressed normally. These individuals looked like cavemen.
Great place for Lynn to get off the ship. And I could.
Trade.
All right. I'm going to say good night to anyone who's watching here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you. I think we have one more week before we take a break. So, yeah, we'll see you next week.